Now, back home, the ANC has marked the 5th anniversary of the passing of Winnie Madikizela-Mandela today. Mandela died in her sleep in the early hours of this day, the 2nd of April in 2019. To some South Africans, she was a villain. To many, the mother of the ANC or the mother of the nation. To discuss, we're joined by ANC spokesperson Mahlengi Bhengu. Ms. Bhengu, thank you for being with us. It began, I believe, with a church service in Meadowlands in Soweto today. Take us through the events of the day, how they were designed to pay tribute to Mandela.
Mama Winnie Madikizela-Mandela was honored by the people of Soweto today in various ways. The ANC simply joined the people of Soweto and surrounding areas in celebrating and commemorating her life and her life of service. We don't believe that she was a villain. That narrative, I would like to understand where it's coming from. But we know her as a humanitarian, somebody that helped young people out of drug and substance abuse in the townships, somebody that fed those that did not have food on the table, and somebody that fought for those that required social protection measures to be visited upon them. And these are the stories that the people of Soweto were sharing during this day. The program began in 4 ways. The Heroes Acre, where she was honored and where her spirits were being invoked both by her family, her comrades in the ANC, as well as the church, because she was a very strong church leader. And that proceeded to a church service where we joined parishioners that worshipped with her whilst she was alive. She was a very staunch Methodist. She was a staunch member of Umanyano in the Methodist Church. And she was dearly loved for also many acts of giving and many acts of thanksgiving on her part to the church as well as to the surrounding community in Meadowlands and beyond Meadowlands in Soweto. And then when that was done, that then proceeded to a project that she was very passionate about, which was a food security project. In fact, her vision was to make sure that each home in Soweto had a garden so that people could actually act out an existence out of that, but also just be able to maintain healthy lifestyles. So we went to support those people that are continuing with this work, and the nice thing about it is it's young people. And the ANC, of course, had donated some resources towards accelerating the work that these young people are doing in memory of Mama Winnie Mandela.
Do you believe it was a fitting tribute, well supported? It sounds like it was by Sowetans themselves.
No, most definitely. We were asked that by many citizens we came across in the streets of Soweto and a few meters away from her house, whether it is possible for us to prolong, paying homage to the acts, especially the giving acts of Mama Winnie. And I think this is something that gets lost in translation when she gets referred to as a villain. What is lost in translation is the extent of how she was loved by the people of Soweto. Now, Soweto is almost like a country in South Africa because of its, width and length. But she was dearly loved for humility, for being accessible, for giving, and for going all out to fight for her people. And we saw that today. And that is why I think as the African National Congress, we will never align with the idea of her having been called a villain.
Okay, fair enough. She did speak out against patriarchy. She even criticized women who aligned with that. The toxic effects of patriarchy, misogyny, a general culture, it seems, that allows women to be abused still prevails in South Africa. Given GBV stats, given that the stats have gone up in recent years, do you think that is something she would be talking about today very loudly?
I would imagine so. I would certainly believe so. And you know, she wasn't also one for mincing her words. She spoke straight from the heart. I do believe that one of the things that we lifted up today in the conversation was Winnie Mandela, the feminist, up until her, you know, her last days on this earth. And so obviously anything that impacts the power relations and the socio-economic conditions and well-being of women in society would have always been uppermost. She's fought those battles in various spaces, including within the African National Congress. I think that would be uppermost for her, and she would probably be wanting to get the state and the ANC-led government to accelerate programs that make a dent in, you know, and serious dent in stamping acts and incidences of gender-based violence and femicide. We know the work that is being done by government, but she would have been a very loud voice in as far as that is concerned. There is not a doubt about it.
Can you venture to guess what she would be saying about the ANC? It's a crucial time. Predictions are that for the very first time, the ANC will fall below 50% in elections next year.
Well, we've actually gotten two independent surveys. One by Franz Cronje, an independent thinker and thought leader who runs his own outfit. I've just, as I was driving back home, I read up on another survey that's just been released sometime today. I just need to remember the name of the entity that came with that. But they're saying that the ANC is actually going to go past the 50% mark. So we are noting that research process that's underway in our country. But I can tell you that from the perspective of the ANC, we are angling for a serious win. And that is what we're quite bullish about it. And that is what we're going to be working on.
No problem. What do you think she would be saying about the state of the party, about Phala Phala, about the elections, about where the ANC is right now?
State of the party just came out of the 55th National Conference, adopted a very clear renewal agenda and with very clear pointers about the things we need to do to fix the party and the things we need to sustain, because there's many other things that are quite great about the African National Congress that we underreport about. But where we need to fix and sort out some of the misfortunes that have led to some of the electoral misfortunes, we're very clear about those measures that have been put in place to address that. For example, ethics and integrity, strengthening the Integrity Commission, where there are instances of corruption, invoking step-aside clauses and related ones, including the work of the Integrity Commission, and making sure that the Integrity Commission is given enough leverage and enough strength and voice to be able to do its work independently without fear or favor. And I just lift up some of those. And then, of course, the Vision 2032 roadmap that has been put in place to take the ANC to 2032 on the basis of a process of cleansing those things that needs to be cleansed, but maintaining some of our time-tested traditions. So in terms of the state of the party, we're very clear about the work that we need to be doing, and I think we're already doing that work if you look at the work of the ANC. You can look at the work stemming out of the January 8 statement. For example, how we aiming to tackle the electricity crisis in the country. You already can see the work we're doing through our deployees in the state.
All right.
It's early days, but a lot of work is being done in that regard.
All right. Thank you for your time today talking about events to commemorate Winnie Madikizela-Mandela, who died on this day 5 years ago. That was ANC spokesperson Mahlengi Bhengu.